Hello. Thank you. What is your name?
Minu.
Minu. I'm Matt.
Nice to meet you. Have you heard of Meher Baba?
I have a little bit, so I'd love for you to explain more.
Okay. So the name Meher means compassion,
Ah,
and Baba is father. So he's the compassionate father. Avatar, the actual Sanskrit definition of or the meaning is the descent of God into human form. And he says that he has to come back every 7 to 1400 years to renew the message that has been given over the ages and been corrupted. So he says he came as Zoroaster, as Abraham, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, now as Meher Baba, and in 700 years he will be back. Because by then humanity will need a fresh dispensation, and as man's ability to understand and accept intellectually God's words, more and more information is given out. So that is why he has to keep coming again and again.
okay, interesting. So is this, you mentioned Zoroastrian, which I learned a little bit about today.
Right.
Is this what you're doing with him? Is it following like a faith or an ideology or?
No. So if you see his all the world's major religions, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And he says,
Hold on, wait. I can't hear. I'm going to come over. All right. I'm going to be able to need to hear this. All right, go again.
So we have all the world's major religions in here represented by Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam.
Okay.
And he says he intends to bring together all religions and cults like beads on one string to revitalize them. So here's the beads on one string all around. And he also has inscribed on his tomb that I have come not to teach, but to awaken. He is not here to teach us anything. Spirituality is not knowledge that you derive from outside, but it is an inner awakening from what is already within us. And imagine a clear mirror with all the dirt and dust from our wants and desires and habits clouding that mirror.
Right.
As that gets cleaned up, more and more of the divinity shines through. However, sometimes in that cleaning, we don't want to let go of our wants and desires and habits, and that creates suffering.
Right.
So many times God is asked, why suffering? He says suffering is to awaken you from this dream of illusion, because what we see around us is an illusion. God is the one reality. To become aware of that, sometimes we have to go through suffering. If you don't come happily towards the reality, the universe has to give us a little nudge every once in a while that this is not real, this is not the be-all and end-all. There is more to life than have a big house, 3 cars, and a few kids, and eat, drink, and be merry. Those are all nice, but that is not the end. Spiritual seeking has to be part of the equation. And many times, in desperation, people will call out to God when there is no other recourse. So when we call out to God when we're happy, it's even better.
Right.
And one of the major points from Meher Baba's life was he maintained silence for 44 years. In 1925, he started a silence that he did not break till he dropped his body. Because he said that you have been given enough words. Through the years, through the ages, you have been given enough words. It is now time to live those words.
So he was teaching before that? And then
For a few years.
Right.
But a lot of these books were authored by him without physically speaking.
Got it.
So initially he wrote for the first 2 or 3 years after he started the silence. Then he stopped writing. He used an alphabet boards that had the English alphabet and numbers in the bottom, and he would point to those. On the video, you might see some of that. You will see that. And then after a number of years, he stopped that as well, and he had he had his unique gestures. You can see him making his gestures, and he's actually communicating. His disciples were able to decipher what exactly he was saying with his unique gestures. And he said, if my silence cannot speak, then words will have no meaning. So be quiet and you will be able to hear the voice of God within you.
Right. Okay, so what are some of the elements of the practice or the faith or some of the teachings? Or how do you have a church or how does that work?
No, we don't have an organization as such. So So this is his tomb in India, and there is a center around there because that's where he had initially gone in the early 20s. He had chosen the location for where his body should be laid at rest. For many years it was in place. And he says the most important thing is love for God. And how to love God? It's a very simple format here. To love God in the most practical way is to love our fellow beings. To serve others, not to see faults in them, but within ourselves to improve ourselves. And that way, more important than prayers and meditation and all those, service to humanity. That is of significantly more importance. To serve humanity, nature around you, is more important than sitting in prayer for days on end. Practical. To live in a monastery as a monk is very easy. But to live in the world with a spiritual philosophy and not be attached to any of it. Use everything around you. Does not mean that you walk away from your family and your home and everything. Use everything. But remember, at the back of your mind, all this is an illusion.
Right.
God is the one reality. So everything in life needs to be focused more towards truth, honesty, and love for God.
So what is the view on life after death? Is there a
reincarnation?
heaven and hell
Oh yes. There is a heaven and hell concept as well, and reincarnation. It's explained properly in the context of how or why the universe.
So would this be, do you have a holy book of sorts that people would read? This would be it?
This would be it.
Okay.
This is the...
Did you see this film?
So this chart is the essence of this book. So let's turn that around.
Everybody has to be down by 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes. So which here shows us the theme of creation, the what of this entire universe and all beings. This is the God in the absolute state, which we cannot even think about.
Right.
The beyond beginning and beyond end. We cannot conceive of that state of God.
Right.
Then there is the state of God where we, in Christian currently it would be God the Father in heaven.
Yep.
That is this state. From that state, and if you have a little Hinduism background, this is called the Om point, from which creation started. So sort of the Big Bang. This is where everything comes out, and consciousness starts evolving. So all of us are a drop of the ocean. We just don't have the knowledge of being the ocean.
Right.
We think we are the drop because we have a bubble of consciousness around us. When that goes, we will have the awareness of being the ocean. So that bubble goes through various experiences. It starts with gases, goes through the stone stage after, these are multiple reincarnations, through metal, vegetable, worms, insects, reptiles, fish, birds, animals, and then humans, and millions of reincarnations as humans. And then we start making spiritual progress. So this is the evolution of consciousness to come up to the human stage. After that, we need to involve, so come back inward. More of the spirituality comes out. At these stages, you have more spiritual powers, abilities, and then depends how you use them. If you use them for good, you make more progress. You get more responsibilities towards the universe. You get more powers. If they're misused, you get into trouble.
Right.
So in this here, we have the heaven and hell. For all these other stages, once one form is dropped, the next one is taken fairly quickly.
Right.
But within humans, because we have intellect and a certain modicum of free will, we get to choose. Do you want to do something good today or something not so good? And the key is balance. Eventually, when the balance is reached, we will reach God. So here, if we have X number of things to experience in a lifetime, we take that particular form. So you were born as a white man, she was born as a brown lady, because those were the things that you needed to experience in this lifetime, in this place, to do all these things. And when all those predetermined things are done, you will leave this body. It will be like once this shirt is worn out, you're going to take it off and not care about it. Similar, the same thing with the body. You're going to leave it once all those experiences are done, and then with the sum total of everything that you have done, that will be reviewed. If the sum total, you have a greater balance of good things that you have done, then you need to experience the excess in a heaven state. Till there's an almost balancing. When there's an almost balancing, you will take another birth based on the rest of the things that you need to experience. If somebody has done a lot of bad things, like committed lots of murders or things like that, then they will have to experience the intense suffering in the hell state to rapidly burn up all those. Because had they to come back on earth to experience that suffering, it would take too much time. So this is actually an accelerated process. So that is why heaven has so much more joy and hell has so much more suffering to help us along in the process. And both are binding. One is chains of iron, the other one is chains of gold. So, and the key is to get a balance. So the more detached we are in life, the less hung up on results we are. We did our part. We don't put too much attention on, I did this much meditation, I have to get this much time in samadhi or enlightenment. Not be hung up on results. Be detached. And then you start making more and more spiritual progress. So this here, the fourth plane, is where the soul has the infinite power of God at his disposal, though not the authority to use it. Can raise the dead, can raise a dead human being. But there are masters above that as well, who will prevent him from doing something nasty. They may snatch away his powers before he tries to misuse them. And then, once you pass the fourth plane, there is no possibility of a fall. At this stage, if a person did something bad, he would end up at the stone level without any knowledge of all this progress that he has made and have to start again. But the masters would prevent it from happening. And then, here you have control over all your emotions. Here you have control over all your thoughts. And here you see only God everywhere around you. All you see is God. But you feel this massive gulf between yourself and God without the ability to cross it. You can see God everywhere. But you're still not God. And then with the help of the Master, you cross that gulf and become the emanation of light. And then you can help others who have been connected to you through lifetimes to make progress.
Okay, wow, holy smokes. Okay, so the last question that I'll give you, that's very fascinating. What would you like people to know about Meher Baba, or about just in general advice for living a good life and connecting with God and progressing spiritually?
Truth, honesty, and love God in the world around us. Service to humanity. And that's what it started with. Mastery and servitude. If you think about it properly, mastery and servitude. You want to serve people and be a master at serving. Not a master over people, but a master in serving people.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Very welcome. Thank you very much for coming to our booth.